Tishy, freak out. Oh, freak out. You freak, Tishy.
From the inside of a light blue station wagon, it's time for America's most unknown game show. Let's Make It Safe.
Our first contestant on Let's Make It Safe is Miss Deborah Dizzy. Come on up, Deborah. Deborah Dizzy from Disneyland. Goodness gracious, she's so really vivacious and exciting. Deborah, tell me, how are things in Disneyland?
Just ding-dong dandy.
Oh, part. Now, Deborah, what would you do to get out of this sticky situation? Here's your first choice. 1, yell, "Hey, let's go toast marshmallows." 2, pray for rain. Or 3, dial 911, the emergency number. You have 10 seconds.
I remember watching a lot of television as a child, and I always saw programs I'd think, well, gee, if I were in control, I would do it this way, or I wish I could, you know, produce this type of program or work with this. And so I figured, you know, why not give other people a chance to do this? So I finally had a chance to produce something, so why not, you know, give the kids in Tuscaloosa and West Alabama the chance to do this.
Hi, I'm Brian Mizell, and I wrote the book Brian's Kitten, and I would like to share it with you today.
Do you play the piano?
Yes, I take lessons.
Do you like that?
Yes.
I think musicians are good, too. I'm a musician. Maybe when you grow up and I grow up, we can be in a band together sometime. What do you say?
Forget it.
But I thought this program, particularly, and the episodes that I've seen, has a look that you just don't normally see in student production.
They came up with this idea a year ago when they were in a course of mine, and it was sort of, they did it with the equipment that we had at that time, which was not really broadcast quality equipment. They came up with the idea, and they did a few segments which were very successful in town. Then this past fall, they decided to expand it and try to get it on the local station so that the people in the community could take advantage of it, not just watching it on the University Channel, but also watching it on Channel 33.
We took the tape back and took a look at it, and frankly, I was very surprised with the production quality of the show.
We try hard, we really do. We've tried to, I won't say copy. Yeah, I can say copy. We have tried to copy a lot of the techniques that have worked well with other programs that are done nationally, like electric companies, Zoom, things like this. We watched a lot of public TV. I work for public TV, so everybody's going to think, oh, he's just giving it a pat on the back because he works for it. I think most all the good children's programming comes out of public TV. Now, I know commercial TV does some good stuff, like In the News, and ABC After School Special, and NBC Special Treats. Those are fine. And I really applaud the commercial people for doing that. But still, I think most of the good stuff comes from public TV. Most of it's done out of New York, South Carolina, Los Angeles. So we've watched a lot of this, and we tried to copy the techniques that have worked well with them. The objectives of the program are just to encourage kids to do their own thing and to communicate with other kids about hobbies, ideas, things like this, really to explore the arts and to encourage others to take part in them.
Bob and I are very lucky in the fact that we both work for University Television. I'm work studying. He's right now working on staff. And we use a lot of the remotes that such shows as In Tune with the Times and Perspective, Uptown Country, a lot of little segments, the footage that we can get from these producers. We try to take these segments and then edit them and maybe do a new soundtrack so that we have it aimed towards children. We do use a studio an awful lot, but we try to get different sets, try to get action in the studio, not just kids sitting around and talking or people doing interviews. We try to get some kind of visual action.
On each program, we ask for ideas from local children, you know, in the viewing audience. We've gotten quite a bit. We all get together and we plan the program. We try to plan several weeks in advance. We go over the letters we've gotten in, and we decide what segments we think we can do at practical that we could do, and we go ahead and schedule them. We get in touch with the children that have written in and say, okay, we decided we want to do your segment. We set aside a date and times and this sort of thing. Okay, now, we don't get enough practical ideas that allow us to do this throughout the whole program, so we have to come up with ideas of our own. And usually myself, Joan Zasa, Cassandra Taylor, Matt Scalici, and Abigail Dusa we all usually contribute regularly to the program. Okay, so we plan it out, and then we are constantly staying in touch with each other on the phone to make sure everything's working out okay. Then on Friday afternoons we tape.
And then it's fairly simple. This is a clay
What? What are you doing? Come on, over here, little shots, okay?
We didn't have earlobes. Just sit down, please.
Okay, this is a kid's show.
That's a lot.
Okay, let's focus up. All right. What I mainly need here, again, is a wide opening shot to establish. Thank you, Bill. Thank you very much. Okay, and we'll need cutaways. Well, not cutaways, but just shots of her.
Right after she starts.
Like we did before.
Okay. Do you go out to a wide shot again?
Yeah. Cool. Right. Same as last time.
Okay, I can handle it.
Okay.
You got 300 Clay Harrison shots.
Exactly how
You're going to have to get a really close up of Jane, you just gave me a Clay Harrison shot. Oh, God.
All right. Well, Matt? Yes, we're going to have to get a pretty tight shot. You've done it. You anticipated what I wanted. Yes. So then we have, when he gets it, we'll have a cutaway on the other.
I got it from
Need to focus fast? Okay. Are we ready?
We're ready. Oh, yeah. You
Put a cigarette lighter.
Can you bring it down?
No, we can't back.
Okay, we're going to take it. So, you. I heard your mother on you.
What? Anything like food. And then get a
Fast and Furious. Did you get in the kids have
Okay, everybody's ready out there? Well, we better haul it. Okay, ready? All right, bars on camera 1. Roll tape.
10 seconds.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, mic and cue.
Can you think of any particularly funny instances that have occurred during?
Okay, on the very first episode, we had Jeff Kramer, who was a puppeteer, works at the Sunshine Center at Bryce Hospital. He brought his puppets in, and we decided to do kind of a takeoff on what Laugh-In used to do, and Hee Haw also, where the kids would tell jokes to the puppets and vice versa, and just have a real good time, just kind of something to spice the program up a bit. So we were doing this segment, and the puppet was telling the little guy a joke, and for some reason the little guy didn't catch on, and then he finally caught on. He was so mad that they had pulled a joke on him that he punched the puppet in the nose and then pulled the mustache off the other puppet.
How can you tell if you got an elephant in your refrigerator?
Do you know how you can tell an elephant in your refrigerator?
How can you tell that? Tell us how you can tell it, Eugene.
Are you ready?
How can you tell if you got an elephant in your
You can tell
refrigerator?
that you got an elephant in a refrigerator by the footprints in the pizza! Ow! That would hurt so.
Another thing that happened, we had an ice cream eating contest just the other day, and that was fun just in itself, watching the kids. They couldn't use their hands, had no spoons, they just had to eat right out of the bowl. That was fun, and at the very end, the winner got to hit Matt Scalici in the face with a pie. Well, you know, it was planned. I mean, we're not going to say it wasn't planned. But the part that wasn't planned was Matt thought we were finished and we had faded to black. We hadn't. And the rest of the kids came up and hit him in the face again, so he was surprised.
This is Matt Scalici with the very first ice cream eating contest on Fun and Stuff.
Hey, wait a minute, let me see that. Let me see that.
No, don't do it anymore. No more.
Some other things. Joan Zasa's little brother was on a program we did. He is a chess expert. He's only 12 years old, but he knows a lot about it. He was doing a segment for us on that. And he just, you know, stole the scene. He didn't care if she was hosting the scene. He just went ahead and said what he felt. He mugged into the camera. And some of the kids said, hey, that little guy, you know, he really thought he was something, didn't he? They didn't realize that he was Joan's brother, and this sort of thing went on all the time.
Chess an easy game to learn, do you think?
Well, you have to have some intelligence to learn chess.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And,
it's more of a thinking game, more than checkers.
You have to concentrate. It's much easier than checkers. As I was saying earlier, these things are kind of hard to draw, and I was lucky to draw them so nicely, like these over here. You're going to find out that a good chess set is at least $10.
So and, this is a fun thing.
If I were you, I would pay $10.
I think the way that Fun and Stuff mixes informational, instructional with entertainment is good.
Anything that we do educationally, we try to present it in an entertaining way.
Well, we try to bridge the gap. We try to make every segment. We don't try to teach something in every segment. We do some segments that are just for entertaining, because I feel like you should have some of that in there too. Kids, you know, come home from school, they're tired of lessons all day long. But I think, you know, we try to do some things that aren't taught in school.
In my experience, limited experience in Alabama and Ohio, it is very unique for students to have a program that they are producing on their own, broadcast on a local commercial outlet.
I was surprised, but the thing is, we had a lot of that is technical problems that I've noticed here at the university. We've worked so long with poor equipment. We finally got something. We've been training all this time on poor equipment. We finally get something that works. I think I was ready, and a lot of us were ready to do something, even though it was a student production for a commercial TV station. Yeah, it's unusual, and it doesn't happen very often. You got to have people who are really energetic and want to do it to make that sort of thing work.
We produced the show as in the best quality we could. We used the best equipment. We never say, well, that'll have to do and we'll put it on anyhow because we need a segment. If it doesn't come out good, we know that 33's, when it airs on 33, it's not going to look very nice, and we want that continuity in the show of it looking very professional, and we do it because we're, in a way, we're a little scared. We don't want to mess up because it is our first chance.
They have an opportunity that I'm glad it worked out. In the beginning, I wasn't sure how it was going to work out, whether or not they would really fulfill the weekly deadline. In other words, would they be like normal students and tend to put things off until the last minute, or would they actually show up Mondays at 3:30 and there would be a Fun and Stuff on television? That I wasn't sure of, but they proved to me that they've taken the responsibility and they can handle it.
Okay. So when we get all these crazy ideas edited together, it turns out to be a better looking show because we kind of have a very positive view. Attitude. I think everyone that works with the show is very positive, and everybody likes kids. And when you get those ingredients mixed together, you have a show that comes off as, we're not just doing this for television, we're doing this because we enjoy it, and it's fun, and this content is meaningful in some way.
Well, we try not to talk down. I think this is a problem with many of the programs that you see on television, and just situations in general when you're working with children. We're still basically young people ourselves, and we know what it's like to be young, to be like that. And so we try to remember this while we're working with them.
I mean, we appreciate Stan Siegel liking the show, and we appreciate our peers and our faculty telling us it's good. But when the kids can tell you, gosh, I really like that show, or when I go walking down the mall one day and this little kid came up to me, aren't you on Fun and Stuff? You know, that just makes your day.
Science fair a few weeks ago. Her science project is entitled How Iron Rusts. Adrian, could you tell us a little bit about how iron rusts?
Well, how iron rusts is when it's when...
And when it's cold, then...
I made up the last line, right?
Oh, I see. Adrian, where did you get this idea?
Who was making...
Fading to black. Okay, stop tape.